Hello everybody, welcome back to my training channel. This is the part 2 of Python FastAPI MySQL. Today we are going to learn and extend the FastAPI to insert the data inside your MySQL table which we created in your first part. So in this part what we will be doing is we will be creating a FastAPI route that inserts the product into the MySQL, and then in the front end part we will be designing a form which will be sending data to that API and help us to insert the data inside MySQL. So let's dive into the coding and start our coding in API. So this was the last API which we created. A quick look what we did in the last training session. We used the FastAPI. We created the CORS middleware allow origins and allow methods which will allow the cross origin request. We created a route that was a default route with the path slash, and we created one route which was getting the data from the MySQL table. Now we have to create a route inside your API that will allow us to insert the data inside your MySQL. So for that we create another route. So we give as app.products, app.post, and inside that post we will be keeping the URL same. The URL of your API route will be same, but instead of get it will be working on post. So we will be taking data from the PHP form and inserting inside your MySQL. So first and foremost, for that we have to include over here something known as form. So without that inserting data won't work. So over here you just have to import form inside your first import statement. Second part is over here. What we will be doing is we will be defining a function to insert the data. So we give as def, and we create the function as create underscore product. Now in this function we have to give the parameters, because in your get products we don't need anything as parameters. This is just fetching the data from the database, but over here we will be taking the value from the PHP form, the front end form. So for that we have to give the parameters over here. So the parameters are the fields which has to be inserted. So we give as name str equals to the form object which we created at the top. We specify form over here. Now this syntax, what this does, when we type it this way form, so it takes the default text input from your form. Price, give it as float, equals to, again from the form we will take the data, so dot dot dot. So this line allows us to take the data from the form which will be filled in your PHP. We give the connection object, get connection method the same way as we did at the top. We need a cursor over here, so again the cursor con dot, you will be specifying cursor, so con dot cursor, same as we did in the top portion. So we will get the cursor over here. Thereafter we just say cursor dot execute, and in this execute statement we have to fire the insert statement. So that is a regular MySQL insert statement. So we type as insert into products, that is our table. We specify the field which we want to insert, ID is auto increment, so we bypass it. We just give name and price over here. Then next thing is values. Now how to pass the values over here. We give as percentage s, that is the parameter. It will take the value from the parameters, comma, and again percentage s. This will be replaced by the value which is passed over here. So we pass it like this, that is our variable name, comma, price. Statement should be completed over here. So this is the variables which we used over here, that is name and price. So it will be passed inside your parameters which are inside the query over here. So this is done. After that, we just give the connection object dot commit. Now this commit statement allows us to update inside the database. Over here we did not do anything as commit or something, we just close the connection, but over here we have to commit this particular statement. So that is connection dot commit. After that we have to close the connection as regular, so that is we are closing the cursor first, cursor dot close. Next is connection dot close, so that is con dot close, and we close it. We give a return statement, return. We just want to give the message that it has been inserted or something, so we specify status over here, status, and inside that status we pass success, and then you can give a message. In message we can type as product added successfully. So this is the part which we have to do inside your API portion. Now we jump on to the front end portion. In front end we have to call this particular route to insert it, but first and foremost what we have to do is we have to create a form over there. So we open our folder, that is PHP front end. So we go in XAMPP, htdocs, and over here that was PHP front end which we created, so selected. And over here we have the index.php. In that we use curl, we called the URL and we fetch the data over here. So now we have to make another call to that particular API, but now for that we have to do insert statements over here. So for that, first and foremost we specify over here at the top, we do it after the URL directly. Now this should be conditional. This should fire only when the submit button is pressed, the button which will be creating in the form below. When it is pressed, then only we can do it. So we have to check whether the method is post or not. So for that we specify as $_server, and we give as request underscore method equals to 3 times, and we give post over here. So this will go inside this function only when the button is pressed, the button inside the form is pressed and the method is post. Otherwise this won't go inside it, it will execute this portion. So we go over here and type as $post, we define a variable, fields equals to, we give an array because there are two fields, name and price. So we give it as name, arrow function, associate, and then $_post, that will take normal in PHP $_post, and we give it as name. Second value is price, so we give it price, again the arrow $_post, square bracket price. So these are two fields which you have grabbed that goes inside your post fields. After that, we have to create another object of curl, that is ch equals to curl underscore init. Thereafter we give the options, that is curl option, set options. In set options you have to pass the curl object, that is ch. Then we pass curl opt url, and our url is $API URL, which is specified at the top, that is this. It is same way which is given over here. Thereafter second curl options, that is curl underscore set opt $ch. After $ch we specify the second option. Now over here we have to give one more option of curl, that is post. So that is curl opt underscore post, because we are passing data from the form, and we specify true over here. Then we specify third option, that is curl underscore set option, set opt $ch, again curl underscore post fields, and whichever fields we are passing, so that is our single variable $post underscore fields, which we set at the top. So you can see there are two changes over here. While fetching we just wanted a transfer return, so we specified that curl option as return transfer, but over here we are posting, so we are passing two more options, that is curl opt underscore post and curl underscore post fields, which is carrying the actual field data, the text boxes data over here. Thereafter the same line, so I just copy that line and paste it over here. We specify a variable result equals to curl underscore execute, curl exec and $ch. So this will execute the statement over here, and curl underscore close finally, and inside also we have to pass the variable as ch. So this is done. So this much task has to be done extra for your post, which we did not do in the last session. We just fetch the data. For that what we do is we create a loop, that is if, conditional if statement, $underscore server request method equals to post. So this will only fire when the button is clicked inside your form. One more variable, $post underscore fields, that will take data from the text boxes, so that is $underscore post name and price. We initialize curl variable, that is curl init. We set the option of the URL, set the option of post, set the option of post fields, and return transfer. Thereafter we execute using it curl execute and the curl object. So now what we have to do is, the remaining part is we have to create the form over here. So we do the form inside our body section, and over here let me type one thing, that is products form. And we give one more h1 over here, that is bifurcating the two design. So we give over here product list, and we design a form over here. So we give as form action, you have to give it as post action, don't specify because we want to post it on the same form. Method I specify as post. Now we create two text box, that is input type equals to text, so I just specify input type equals to text. We specify the name equals to the same as name because our field is name. We give a placeholder, In placeholder we specify as product name, that will be displayed on the screen, and we specify a required parameter, so user cannot go without inserting the data. Second text box, input type equals to text, we specify name as price, placeholder equals to, we specify as price, and again we give it as required. With our two text boxes we create a button, and in button we specify type, equals to, we specify as submit, and over here we can just type add. So this is done. So this much has to be done for inserting the record. When the button will be clicked, the post will be true. It will go over here, it will check the method as post, it will pass the data to the API URL. Okay, it's all. So let's try. First and foremost, start our API. So we go over here. To start the API, we just specify the file name over here. It was products. If there is some error, it will show me over here, or else it will run. Okay, the application is running. I just check it. The API is running. Now we can check our XAMPP server logic, PHP front end. Okay, we have a form over here. So we try to insert the data over here. Television, and we click on add product. You can observe it was pretty fast. You just insert the data and reflects it over here. Now the faster data is traveling because we are using curl and your Python API. So let's quickly look back what we did. In the API, we created a function at the same URL, that is the API URL products. We created a function named as create product. In create product, we pass the form values, that is the name and price, which we need to insert. For that, we have to create an object of form. That form has to be added at the top portion with the FastAPI. It is inside FastAPI itself. Then we specify that name and str equals to form. This line will take the default input from the form text input and bind it to name. Next, price, so we give it as float if the point values are done, and the same thing, form and 3 dots inside it. We created an object of connection, get connection, and that connection is from our first file which we created in the last session. We pass the connection, username, host, password, and database. Now this connection will be binded over here. Thereafter we create an object of cursor, that is con.cursor. For execution, we do cur.execute, that is a object of cursor, cursor.execute. Insert into, we pass parametric function over here, and we pass the parameter values as name and price. So that is done over here. Thereafter we want to insert, so this statement has to be written, that is con.commit. Without that the insert won't be possible. Second, we close the connection, that is cursor.close, and then con.close. We pass a status, that is a return statement, success, with a message that product added successfully. So this portion is of your FastAPI for adding the form values. Next, we went to the PHP portion. In PHP portion, we added a simple if statement, that if $_server request method equals to post, then go inside. We We created a variable for taking the values from the form. We have two values, so we create an array of post fields. Name, we take the single value from post underscore name, that is dollar underscore post price. So two values are stored inside your post variables. We again initialize curl using $ch curl init. We set the option of the API URL. We set the option of post. We set the option of post fields. So which data has to be inserted. These two things are extra instead, which we did not do in the last when we did the fetching. Thereafter, the same thing, return transfer, because we need the return output also over here. To execute it, we store it inside a variable result curl execute and that ch variable, and we close curl. To pass data to this particular form, we have to create a form inside your HTML. Method should be post. We created two text boxes, name and price, and we created a submit button. So this was pretty fast. In the last portion and the third portion, we will be doing edit, and for edit we will be keeping two buttons over here, edit and delete, and we will be extending the functionality inside your FastAPI. So keep practicing. For more tutorials, join our channel, and we will be doing the third portion quickly. Thank you for watching.